Alright, so this is going to be a walkthrough on how to use Robot Studio for your class assignments that you guys are going to be doing. So first what we're going to do is we're going to be unpacking our work. So there is a file that you guys will have called blocks. So we can go ahead and just open that. It's yelling at me because I already have a version of this, so we'll just call it V2. And then we'll say next, and then yeah, just keep hitting. And if I have a window open, that's why this is popping up. So if you don't have a window, don't worry about that. So it's going to unpack, put everything ready. You'll be ready to go in a few minutes, so hold on a second. Alright, at some point you will be at this wonderful point in space. So once you're unpacked, we're good to go. We can go ahead and hit the close button. Now, again, a few important windows that we're going to be dealing with. This operating mode window over here is going to be key for a lot of what we're doing and making sure the robot stays in manual mode for us, and other problems like that might occur. To get there, if we go ahead and close out of that, if you go to controller and then click on operating mode, and that will bring us up. Now if you noticed a minute ago this didn't have a station listed there. If I click the drop down it would have showed up, but just because it said we were in manual mode, but there was nothing listed for the controller. So make sure you actually have a controller listed. Then we're going to go ahead and select manual mode, and then we have to enable the device. All right. So if you see how this says release device now, if it ever says enable device again in your manual mode, it's going to be very helpful to click that button. All right. Also, we're going to need the flex pendant open, so you can go ahead and open that up. Alright, so as you can see here we have 10 blocks, a 2x5 array, alright, and very known positions. These are, I believe, are 30mm by 30mm by 30mm, and I believe there are 10 millimeters of space between them. Alright, that will be very helpful for you for later on when we're doing loops and things like that, so just something to keep in mind. Now I do have a little program here. Let me go ahead, put the program pointer to main, PP to main, and we can go ahead and hit the play button. And you will be able to see that this is going to go over, it's going to pick a block up, drop it, pick a block up and drop it, and it's not doing it. Alright, now the reason it's not doing that is because nothing happens in the simulation without the simulation running. Now, in mine I've got it disabled. I had to go through and change a setting somewhere that said it automatically defaults to running the simulation when we start, and I was like, no, that is not what I want. So I went and disabled that under simulation setup, I'm believing it was. But yeah, I had to go through and set that up. Hopefully on your guys' computer, when you hit play here, it doesn't automatically start running your code. If it does, we'll have to fix that. But anyway, now that the simulation is running, if I hit play, you will see that it will pick up the blocks. So, yay, it works. Alright, now if we go ahead and put it back to PP to main, put that program pointer back to the top, and I hit run again, you'll see that it will actually pick up the first 3 blocks. Alright, now, on the flex teaching pendant, flex pendant, whatever you want to call it, alright, there are these 4 buttons at the top which we haven't talked about yet. Alright, right now 1 and 2 are set up to enable and disable a vacuum when we're in manual mode. So right now 1 enables it, 2 disables it. So if I press 2 right now, you'll see we'll drop that bad boy down. If I go, oh, I know what's happening now. Alright, let's go ahead back to linear mode. So if I go back up, it still doesn't have it. If I go down and I click 1, we're good to go. Alright, so notice it does say setting of I/O down here on the thing. So setting, we're clicking, there we go, setting 2, so you can pick it up. Now, for this tip to grab the block, it has to be within 5 millimeters of that block. It doesn't matter what side, or all sorts of crazy things are going on with that, but you have to be within 5 millimeters overall. So these blocks are 30 millimeters tall, so if we go ahead and go down to, there we go, 34.99. I couldn't do that any better if I tried. Turn it on and bada bing. Alright, So we are able to, as long as we're within 5 millimeters. Now, right now, we do have the physics for this turned off, so it is inactive, all right? Which means you can run this bad boy straight through blocks, all right? I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's how it is set up right now, all right? And it'll keep you guys from having some problems. Now, having said that, if I turn this on and I have a block, all right, I cannot run that block through other blocks. So that is something that you do need to take into account. And as you see right now, I actually have 2 blocks. All right, that's because that my tip of that vacuum, wherever it is, all right, must be within 5 millimeters or something. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, I have 2 blocks on this. So just something to think about. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not going to hit anything else with it while you're doing this. All right, so we can go ahead and drop both of those blocks. Now, at this point, you're like, how do I get all the blocks back to where I want them? All right, and what we can do is under simulation, we can hit stop. All right, we hit the drop down menu. I have a home button. Now, right now we're in manual mode. I hit home. All right, we noticed we went to automatic mode. All right. I don't know if that's just what the robot was in when I saved home or what, but that is just something that you do need to be aware of. So every time you do that reset right now, you have to go back to manual, and now it's not going to work. All right. Notice we got a wait mode failure. All right. So, and that's the case. All right, you got to go to controller and you have to do a little warm restart. All right, now that will exit out of your flex pendant, which is kind of annoying, but that is the way the game goes. So if you're ever trying to go to manual and you can't get it to be the enable device button, just do a quick restart. It will take a little bit of time, but it will save you some hassle in the long run. I will try seeing if saving this, simulation, saving this home will fix that. If I save it with it in manual mode, let's go ahead and save this as home. Alright, include that. I guess home, capital home and lowercase home are different. So let's go ahead and just spin the robot to make my life easy. There we go. Simulation, capital home, nothing. Simulation, lowercase home. Okay, so there seems to be some slight problems there. So I hope I'm gonna have that new home position saved, so hopefully you don't have to constantly go back to manual mode every freaking time. I think it does get annoying after all. But anyway, that is how you can use your robot to pick up any of these 10 blocks that you want to. All right, and if you did notice, gravity works. So if you picked it up and you dropped it from a little high, it did fall down until it hit the bottom floor here. So that's how you can use the robot, pick the blocks up. You can overall ignore everything over here under layout, all these attachers and collision sensors and detachers, and that is all stuff that had to be made so that way we could pick the blocks up with the robots. We needed an attacher, I needed a collision sensor, and I needed a detacher for every block. All right, that's why there's only 10 of them, because I didn't feel like continuing that crazy process. So if you have any questions, guys, feel free to let me know. However, now you can start working on your assignments.